When I sat down to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, I was in a pretty unique position. While this game has been celebrated for years as one of the best entries in the Assassin's Creed series, I wasn't someone returning with a heavy dose of nostalgia. In fact, although I had technically played the original years ago, I barely scratched the surface. I never made it farther than Nassau before putting the game down, meaning I never experienced Edward Kenway's complete journey, never dove into the naval systems, and never understood why so many fans held this game in such high regard. Because of that, this was effectively my first real experience with Black Flag. Everything beyond those opening hours was completely new to me. I wasn't comparing every mechanic to memories from 2013 or looking through nostalgia-colored glasses. Instead, I approached Black Flag Resynced as if I were playing it for the very first time, judging it solely on how it stands up as a modern game today. That fresh perspective made this experience even more enjoyable because I wasn't waiting for familiar moments. I was constantly discovering new mechanics, meeting memorable characters, and exploring a world that genuinely surprised me. By the end of my playthrough, I finally understood why this game continues to be regarded as one of Ubisoft's greatest achievements. The biggest surprise for me was just how consistently fun the gameplay is. Every system feeds into the fantasy of becoming a pirate, and because I had never played the original, every new mechanic felt like another exciting tool to experiment with. Combat is incredibly dynamic. Rather than simply mashing attack, you're constantly deciding how you want to approach each encounter. You have swords, pistols, smoke bombs, rope darts, sleep darts, berserk darts, hidden blades, and environmental opportunities that all encourage creativity. No two fights have to play out the exact same way. One moment you're countering enemies in flashy sword duels, and the next you're shooting an enemy before finishing another with a hidden blade. It gives combat a satisfying rhythm while still rewarding experimentation, and it never became repetitive during my playthrough. Stealth also deserves praise. Whether you're stalking enemies through dense jungles, sneaking across rooftops, blending into crowds, or silently clearing enemy forts, there's enough variety that missions rarely feel one note. But the real star of the gameplay, in my opinion, is the naval combat. Sailing the Caribbean aboard the Jackdaw is genuinely addictive. Managing your skills, firing broadside cannons, launching mortars, boarding enemy ships, and upgrading your vessel creates an incredibly satisfying gameplay loop. What impressed me the most was how dynamic the ocean feels. Weather constantly changes your encounters. Calm seas can suddenly transform into violent storms with massive waves crashing over your ship, reducing visibility and forcing you to adapt on the fly. These moments aren't just visually impressive, they completely change how naval combat plays out. Every voyage feels unpredictable, making exploration exciting rather than simply traveling from point A to point B. Capturing ships, hunting legendary vessels, discovering hidden islands, diving shipwrecks, and searching for buried treasure all contribute to making the world feel alive. It's one of those rare games where getting distracted is actually part of the fun instead of just taking you away from what really matters in the game. From a technical standpoint, Black Flag Resynced exceeded my expectations. Playing on PlayStation 5 in performance mode, the game maintained an incredibly stable 60 frames per second throughout my entire 24-hour stream I did, by the way, on launch day. I never encountered noticeable frame drops, screen tearing, or any technical issues that interrupted gameplay. The game also manages to retain beautiful 4K visual fidelity while incorporating subtle ray trace enhancements that elevate lighting and reflections without sacrificing performance. It's an impressive balance between visual quality and responsiveness. The Caribbean itself is absolutely stunning. Every island has its own personality, whether you're exploring bustling colonial cities, dense tropical jungles, or forgotten ruins, or even tiny hidden coves waiting to be discovered. Sunsets over the ocean, storms rolling across the horizon, and moonlit voyages all combine to create an atmosphere that is truly impressive. The audio design also deserves just as much recognition. Every cannon blast has weight behind it, sword clashes sound impactful, and ocean waves constantly surround you, while wildlife fills with ambient life. And the creaking of your ship during rough seas makes every voyage feel authentic. But we all know the best part about the audio. The sea shanties, performed by your crew, are easily one of the game's highlights. Rather than simply acting as background music, they become part of the venture, making long voyages simply relaxing and helping you immerse in the pirate fantasy even further. Every piece of presentation works together to make the world feel absolutely unbelievable. As someone experiencing Edward Kenway's journey for the first time, though, I was surprised by just how engaging the story turned out to be. Rather than immediately presenting Edward as a traditional hero, the game allows him to grow naturally over time. His motivations constantly evolve, making him feel like a believable and relatable character instead of someone who's simply following the typical protagonist formula. The pacing deserves particular praise because just when you think you figured out what the story is headed, another twist or major revelation changes everything. It continually keeps you invested and wanting to see what happens next. The supporting cast is equally memorable, with allies and rivals who each played meaningful roles throughout the adventure. Relationships develop naturally, making many of the story's emotional moments genuinely impactful. Outside of the main campaign, though, the world building is exceptional. The countless side activities, from hunting wildlife and treasure maps to naval contracts, fort assaults, and underwater exploration, and many, many more things you can do, never feel like meaningless filler. Instead, they deepen your connection to the world and reinforce the fantasy of living as a pirate captain. Everything you do contributes to making you feel like you're carving out your own legendary life across the Caribbean. And very few open world games manage to blend narrative progression with exploration this seamlessly. Going into Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced with absolutely no nostalgia ended up being one of the best ways to experience, in my opinion. Its combat remains engaging thanks to a huge variety of tools and availability to players. The naval gameplay is among the best I've experienced in any action-adventure game, with constantly changing weather making every voyage exciting. The technical performance on PlayStation 5 is outstanding and delivering a locked 60 FPS through my 24-hour play session while maintaining gorgeous 4K visuals, tasteful ray tracing, and phenomenal audio design just sent it to me. Finally, Edward Kenway's journey is consistently entertaining, backed by excellent pacing, memorable characters, and side content that genuinely enhances the pirate fantasy instead of distracting from it. Whether you're a longtime fan or, like me, someone jumping into this adventure for the first time, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is an incredible, easy recommendation. My final score is going to be a 9.5 out of 10. It's not just a fantastic Assassin's Creed games, it's one of the most immersive pirate adventures available today. But that's going to go ahead and conclude my review of Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. I genuinely enjoyed my time with this game, and I am still not 100% done with it, because trust me, I am going to be 100%ing this game. But I'm just curious, from an outside perspective, from everybody else who's played the game, what do you guys think? Do you think if you've played the original, it holds up to what the original was while not feeling too similar? And for the people that are coming in new like myself, what do you think of it from a fresh perspective? Do you like it? Do you think it has the opportunity to be one of the best open world games we've seen this year? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, turn on post notifications so you get notified every time I do upload here on the channel. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.